Or we have option 2, which is probably a slower road that allows our relational abilities, that is, our ability to get along, time enough to cook and ferment with our personal and collective development before we head straight on into understanding the material world. This method would have us learn the ways of physiological coherence and do so au naturel. This is the natural way that we may be headed anyway. This is the way without shortcuts. This is the way without the need for administered drug compounds like DMT, because we already have it being produced in the pineal body anyway. Interesting that the road to this end will, with either path, technology in option 1 or spiritual growth in option 2, will end up in the same place. But surely there will be different problems we encounter along the way. One path could be the way the Greys may have taken. These are the zeta reticulans, for those of you who aren't familiar that much with the field of ufology. By all reports, the Greys must have had high cognitive abilities, but sure are rude. These graphs are a way of illustrating a technophysiological level of development of alien civilizations. In my graphs here, I suggest a high cognitive ability would be a must for either Greys or Nordics to master the external world of technology or the internal world of the paranormal. But as we know, our moral abilities, I should have used the word relational instead of moral, but I want to illustrate a point. Anyway, our moral abilities here seem to lag behind our cognitive ability. We have known how to blow ourselves up since 1947 with an atomic bomb, long before we had the ability to control impulses for greed, war, violence, and general mayhem. So the Greys in this chart may have ended up with technology that surpassed their relational and moral abilities, in which case we should be afraid of them as unwelcome nightly visitors. And the Nordics, which are my favorite, in this chart end up with a far superior moral ability, and only later technology may have caught up, in which case there's a great deal we can learn from them. The bottom line is we seem to have two choices, and both are consistent with the reports and claims of UFO sightings and ET visitation. We can choose the red pill and go the way of the Borg, as we already seem to be doing, or we can choose the blue pill and go the way of the traveler. But in any case, I just want to remind you that I've tried to demonstrate that all the reports of UFOs and alien abductions are consistent, I believe, with findings from paranormal research, brain science research, and what we know about the quantum state. Although there isn't much that can't be speculated about in quantum mechanics, that's fine. We have only to rely on our experience, the authority of those who have had such experiences, our reason and intellect, and our way of knowing by revelation to guide us on a path that in all likelihood we have already chosen. A reminder that the game is afoot in Omaha on weekly radio broadcasts of the Spooky Action at a Distance radio program, produced by members of the Omaha UFO Study Group and the University of Nebraska-Omaha UFO Study Group. Thank you to UNO for their facilities, and thank you again for listening. I look forward to reading any comments you'd like to make. I am well aware of the ridicule factor for exploring this topic, and I embrace it, so let her rip. Goodbye now.